Have you ever taken the time to look at the letters of the alphabet? I mean, really look at them. More specifically, the English alphabet. When looking at the words like the, do you ever wonder how the T and H came together to make the sound the? Or why the name of W sounds so much like W? Well, I might not be an expert on languages myself, but I think I will try to at least help uncover this, as not only am I curious on the subject as well, but upon a quick examination of the answers to these questions, a whole complex and fascinating mystery begins to open up. More specifically, a murder mystery. A murder of letters. To start things off, let's keep it simple and take a look at what the letter W used to look like. That being this. This letter is called Wynn. A letter from the Old English alphabet that represented the sound we now know as coming from the letter W. Wynn seems to have been borrowed from the Elder Futhark rune of the same name, which represented joy or bliss. This rune replaced the older method of representing the sound in the earliest Old English text, which was to use a digraph, a pair of characters placed together to represent a single or series of phonemes. In the case of the W, this was to use two U's. A literal W. Get it? It's a letter pun. Okay. At any rate, the adoption of the rune to represent the sound wa remained a part of Old English throughout the Anglo-Saxon era of England and through the early parts of Norman rule, gradually falling out of use due to the influence of the more French conquerors, and eventually completely fell out of use during the period of Middle English, somewhere around the years of 1300s, when it was once again replaced by the old two U's that would eventually develop into the modern W we now know today. Now comes the cringiest part of the video, where I attempt to use this letter in Old English, a language in which I am in no way proficient, so please be kind. Anyway, the following is an excerpt from an Old English Saxon runic poem. Winna bruseth, fecan wenna lit, sales an sorge an himself hef, blad and bliss an ech berga gin hit. Or in modern English, albeit a slightly modified translation, who uses it knows no pain, sorrows nor anxiety, and he himself has prosperity and bliss, and also enough shelter. And of course, I guess it should be also interesting to see me embarrass myself further, as mispronouncing an old language isn't enough. Now would probably be a good time for me to attempt to write out the letter on paper. The lowercase Wynn has never been that much of an issue for me, as I usually just start with the stem of the letter before moving on to the loop, while attempting to make the top part of the loop more tapered in order to make it seem as though it just flows into the stem, rather being attached to it like in the letter P. Speaking of which, that is where things become weird for me when I attempt to draw the capital form of the letter Wynn, as it always seems to come out as more of a misshapen P or maybe even a D. This makes me wonder, if the letter Wynn was still used today, would it make the language more difficult to read, as people may confuse the letter with other similar appearing letters? Well, that actually might be a tie-in for the next letter, F. I would like to take the time to thank anyone who actually took the time to watch this video, as it is one of the first I produced here on this channel. I am by no means an expert on the Old English language, and am merely someone who is interested in the development of the English language, and how it may have sounded in the past, in particular, as the name of this channel may suggest, during the medieval era. So if anyone watching this is more of an expert, any help with the pronunciation or mistakes I made in the research for this video is greatly appreciated in the comments. Thank thee so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I bid thee farewell.